It's time for Health Coach with Dr. John Catanzaro from the Health and Wellness Institute in Mountlake Terrace.
And it is time once again for Health Coach with Dr. John Catanzaro of the Health and Wellness Institute in Mountlake Terrace. Is it Health and Wealth Institute or clinic?
It's Health and Wellness Institute.
Institute, okay. And it's also a clinic?
Yeah, actually the full title is Health and Wellness Institute of Integrative Medicine and Cancer Treatment.
Well, there you go.
That's a pretty big title.
Dr. John Catanzaro with us today. Hi.
How are you doing?
Good. You're talking about vitamins the last couple of shows. Today, switching to one of the vitamins that seems to be really in vogue and seems to be very necessary in the dark Northwest, and that is vitamin D. Tell us more about vitamin D.
Yeah, vitamin D, if you're feeling kind of dull in your mind, then you might be low in vitamin D. Okay, because D actually is used in a lot of the neurological processes of our brain. And, of course, we all know that the major source of vitamin D is the sun, and we all know that a good, maybe 9 months of the year we're kind of dark clouds here. You know, it's difficult for us to get our D here.
Yes, it is.
Now, you say, well, what can I do if I don't have enough sun? Well, you need to get to a sunny place if you can, okay? And I don't necessarily advocate suntan beds because, you got other risk factors that are involved with that. Right. But sometimes, you might have to go and figure it out.
What about these UV lights?
UV lights do help as long as you have, your limits and how what your exposure is, and as long as one of the safe light. It has to be a safe light.
Well, now, why do you get a vitamin from light? Explain that process.
The process, the conversion actually happens in the surface of our skin. So we are actually making vitamin D by this, photosynthesized movement biochemically. And similar to the way plants metabolize, and that's the way we're metabolizing vitamin D. And of course, vitamin D is important to maintain the strength of bones. It's important to maintain the integrity of vessels. It is used to, in cancer prevention and prevention of heart disease.
And diabetes. It seems to be something they're really concerned. I have type 2 diabetes, and that's one they always test for is
that's correct.
Vitamin D.
And if you're going to test for D, you want to be testing for the 25-OH. So it's vitamin D3 that we're testing for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how much vitamin D as an actual pill then should you be taking on a daily basis?
That's kind of a controversial subject because if you go to, a conventional medical doc will say, you probably shouldn't take any more than 1,000, IUs of D a day. But there are some people that need to have it, say if they're really suppressed on their blood. First thing is that we need to see where your blood levels are, right?
Yeah.
So if you're actually 25 and less in your vitamin D, then what we need to do is get you on at least a 10,000 IU a day.
So it's individual. It depends on the person.
Depends on the person. Yeah.
Okay.
So 10,000 IUs a day is a therapeutic replacement dose, and you usually do that over a 3-month period and then recheck to see where the vitamin D levels are.
Okay, so it's and they take a blood test to determine this.
You take a blood test, and you should always take a blood test to be sure that your vitamin D levels are checked. Now, the D levels are important because if you are suffering from any kind of mood disorder, or even if, for instance, if your thyroid is kind of is underactive, the vitamin D is important even for good thyroid health. Okay, which we'll talk at a future program.
Okay.
But I think that from the standpoint of D replacement, everyone needs to have that D checked and making sure that it's in the adequate levels.
So it's checked first, and then it's controlled with a supplement. Are there any foods that are high in vitamin D?
Sardines. If you want to eat some sardines, get you turned on to some sardines because you're going to get your omega oils and that. But you're also going to get high levels of vitamin D as well. You're going to get that in other fish as well. Those are pretty much the biggest products. And there are
oily
fish, and you can also get some of D in some of your vegetable matter as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there are some food choices that have high D. So if people want more information and they want to get this blood test from you, then how do they get in touch with you, Dr. John?
They can contact us on our website, ehealthandhealing.com, or 425-697-6112.
And more details about Health Coach and listen to past programs on our website, kcisradio.com. This has been Health Coach with Dr. John Catanzaro on KCIS.
You've been listening to Health Coach with Dr. John Catanzaro from the Health and Wellness Institute in Mountlake Terrace. For more information, visit ehealthandhealing.com or hwicancerresearch.org or call 425-697-6112. You can also listen to past programs and submit your questions for Health Coach at kcisradio.com.